The way he describes his Nana, I'm like, that is exactly the chaotic energy that you have. And when you are 87 years old, you're going to be the exact same person as your Nana.
Nana
Not the like meanness part that you described, but the like
Nana used to make old ladies cry at
the
church.
things she would do, like knock out windows and crawl through them. Like that's your energy.
Nana would make little ladies cry at church and tell them like, "What'd you say?" Like, "I don't like her," and I let her know it. And I'm like, Nana, like what? This is church. What the fuck? And she would always break into our house. Did I tell this story? She'd break in. Nana lived down the street, but she'd come visit and break in our childhood home and steal like cups and forks and pictures and stuff. And then we had a heavy wood garage door, like heavy. Nana's old. She's old, like 87 at this time. And she would lift it up and it fell on her and she got locked in the garage.
Not on her body, it just like closed shut.
No, she said like you know.
Oh, it fell on her? Like she got hurt?
She said it fell on her and not on her, but like, you know, like pushed her in, you know. And then she was locked in the garage that she was breaking in, you know. I mean, it was family, so it's all right, whatever.
It's all right.
And then she kicked out the square glass window, but not like all of it, and then went through the broken glass and like broke out of our house. The window was this big. She's 87, dude. What the fuck?
Limber.
And she's like, "Oh, sorry, I had to break out of your house today." And we're just like, "What
Why
were you doing
breaking
there
in?
to begin with?" And then we would be, so sometimes we'd stay home sick from school. It was summer and she's old and forget or whatever. So we'd be home asleep and we'd hear her come in and break in and like snoop around. And we like, "Hey," and she'd be like, "Oh, hi," you know, and be like, "What are you doing?"
She just liked snooping around.
She was just
What would she take?
Just family photos and silverware and cups.
She was like, "I like this."
And she just would always drive so fast and run red lights and sideswipe stuff. I've told all those stories, but they're so good. I told this story, but this is a legendary one. We're at Marie Callender's. It's me and Nana and Betty Skyver. One's like 85, one's 88, and just me. I'm like 12. And Nana just reverses and hits a car. And I was a little kid, and she starts taking off. And I still knew that was wrong. I was like, "Nana, like you hit that car." And she's like, "Oh, it was their fault." And I was like, "Nana, they're parked and no one's in it." Like, and then the time she took out the parking lot arm thing, that's the best story. At Torrance Memorial Hospital, she took off the parking lot arm thing at the parking lot attendant where you pay. And then we asked her, like, "Well, what happened?" And she's like, "Well, I wasn't sticking around to find out." And she just...
That's where you ultimately learned how to run from the...
Yeah, and
From
guess
trouble.
what? Guess what? She got away with it. The hospital, they got money. They're ripping off all these poor bastards by dying, you know. "Oh, you want to live? You got to pay. You got to pay. Better get that second mortgage out. You want that chemo, you know."
Mm-hmm. But just
fuck them.
The way you talk about Nana, I just feel like that's
she's awesome.
Like when you're like,
she's always
after you
around.
have your cold brew, I feel like is Nana energy.
Yeah, she would break her
like, "Uh-oh, Nana's coming out."
She'd fall down and like break her hip and then try to walk on it and be like, "Nana, you gotta take it easy." And she's like, "I'd rather die. Let me out. Let me out." And she just was hip, man. She'd always walk around naked in front of me and my sisters. I'm trying to incorporate it into my act, but everyone kind of pulls back a little bit.
They're like, "Oh."
It's wild, man. She has silver bush and nice tits. I don't get it.
I want to know her titty secret.
I keep saying that in my act, and I go, "Nice tits," and it either murders or gets weird. You know, it kills sometimes.
That's kind of your whole thing, though. I feel like it's like you're either really uncomfortable or you just get Craig and you laugh.
My goal in comedy is I want to be as weird and make it as like almost uncomfortable as possible, but with love. You know, obviously this is love and it's fun.
Yeah.
It's not like, "Hey, everything's fine, guys." You know, but sometimes they go, "Oh."
Like when every news story you introduce, I feel like they go, and then you kind of go into it, and then it's a laughing thing, but they always go, there's always that kind of like breath in, like, And the,
Yeah.
you know, like,
I love that. I'm like, no, let me take you on this journey, and by the end of it, you're gonna be like, yeah. Nana's tits, you know, fuck yeah. And that's my goal. And it's really hard to do though when you're working on it, and you're just like, oh god, it's not there yet, you know.
yeah.
My cousin's vagina story took years to work out, and now I'm on my Nana's vagina story, and I don't know how long.
You'll get there, babe. You're an inspiration.
You know.
How you make it work, we'll never know, but you managed to make it happen.
I'm running out of vaginas to talk about.